when did the Ulcer Index become a part of your life? Was it around that time? Like, did you have that feeling and you went to the doctor and you said, "Doctor, there's something really, really up with me," and this is Phil.
The Ulcer Index.
This is in our medical journals. It's called the Ulcer Index.
So the Ulcer Index, for anyone who's listening, there was, if you use TradingView, there's an oscillator, there's an oscillating indicator. I'm not sure it's still there, but I purely by accident I found it because it was right down at the bottom. I was like, this indicator's not working for me. This one's, take that out. That's not giving me buy signals. So we scrolled right down to the bottom. I found something called the Ulcer Index. I was like, bang, I'm having that. And it basically mapped. I think it was something to do. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll send you the link. But it was to do with like maximum pain and people that were. It was to do with like volume and maximum pain and selling like and it was quite, obviously like the more pain you're in, like the bigger your ulcer. Yeah. So I'm not too sure when that kicked in. I think it might have been when it's going to be another story, I guess, when I punted my father-in-law. I could take his I could take his.
Is the father-in-law portfolio still running?
The father-in-law, of course it is, mate. Mate, it's still underwater as well.
So we'll get some Titanic. Someone went down to sea.
Yeah, honestly, mate, it needs some Viagra to get this one up at the moment. Right. Jesus,
can you explain the father-in-law portfolio?
Jesus, yeah. So this would have been during COVID when crypto was on a rip, and I mean like a proper rip. And at this point, so I was in for the first bull market. So at the time, I had like 13.5 Bitcoins, and it was the average price was something utterly ridiculous, like £700. And I chased it right the way up to 13,000. And then the Chinese turned off the capital flows and it started really crashing. So then I left it back and I was like, what the fuck? I've not taken any training for this. Literally, what the heck do you do here? So it was one of those where I was like waking up at 3:00 in the morning and checking the price. I thought, this is not right. And seeing like my Coinbase account, like pretty healthy, then going down like a lot and going, this is the ulcer's starting here. Yeah. I'm gonna have to get out. So I got out at, I don't know, maybe about 9,000, something like that. So I'd stayed in, and then when it started coming down, I thought, I think this could go to zero. Like, how uninformed am I? But at the time, I was like,
did you close it all out?
I kept 2. I've always held as a base. I've always held 2, but I cashed them out, and moved them around, and paid a bit off the mortgage, and just invested it in other things.
I'm not interested in the sensible stuff, Phil.
No, I know you're not. That's not what you're here for, is it? So anyway,
I want to hear about we're not looking for the remedy. Or we want maximum ulcer story.
So the second bull run, I got back in at 5,000. And this thing really caught fire. When COVID,
it actually settled. I mean, the second bull market, it went to 19,000 and change, and then it fell to 3,300.
And then it just consolidated. It stayed in a range for ages, and then COVID hit. Interest rates went to zero. These bounce back loans, literally people were just throwing money around, and people rightfully, because it's what degenerates do, they went, right, I'm having the riskiest thing there is, let's fucking just buy crypto. And it sent it on it, obviously on its massive bull run to, what was it, 60? It hit 60, I think, didn't it? Anyway, so this this particular day
It
we
went
had,
from 3,000 to 68,000.
right? Was it that much?
It went up to $68,000, and it was
Jeez.
and you see any of the posters, it was all sponsored by Ulcer Index.
So anyway, I've had a particularly spectacular run second time around, and I'm feeling very, very happy with myself. So this is what, 2.5 years or so ago, I guess now, and let's just put it this way: I'd had a few beers on board, and a few glasses of wine, and it was the summer, and I was rocking. Like every few minutes, I just check my account and going, check that motherfucker out. Get the wine open. Let's anyway. So my wife, she had a parents over for like Sunday lunch, and my father-in-law, he's very he knows the value of a pound. Let's put it that way, right? He's a bit of a hoarder, but I've got a lot of admiration for him. He's one of those that if he's going to buy any stock, he'll make sure that it pays a dividend. He wants to get the absolute maximum value out of everything. And I think at the time as well, I told him about Rolls-Royce. I was like, mate, Rolls-Royce shares, because I knew that Rolls-Royce were looking to get into building nuclear reactors. And I was like, mate, honestly, like, Rolls-Royce are well worth looking at, because I was beginning to move into the nuclear sector with work. So I was like, mate, this is a bit of a play on uranium. So because he's always like really interested in like stuff that I'm doing, and I give him little bits of pointers here and there. So it was kind of off a similar sort of chat a few weeks prior to that. Dad said, mate, you want to think about Rolls-Royce here? And I walked into the kitchen, and I was like the man. Like my head could not fit into the kitchen, and he was talking something about money to like the kitchen table, and me, I just turned around and said, "I'll tell you what, Rob, I've got a proposition for you here. If you give me £1,000, I'll 10x that. In a couple of years, I'll 10x that, and if you don't, if it doesn't, I'll give you your money back." I said, it's a free bet. Just give me £1,000. So it was like, what, really? And like even Lauren, like my missus, she was just turning around, like giving me the glare, going, shut up. And I'm like, tell me to shut up. Have you seen my account? Like, I think. Anyway, pride comes before a fall. So when he kind of like, he was like, I'll have a think about it, and blah, blah, blah. I said, like, mate, if you want to buy your gold, that's fine. But what you want to do is you want to own the fastest horse. I was like, no disrespect, but you're approaching 70. What are you buying gold for? You want to buy the fastest horse in the race when you've got the least amount of time left on the planet. So he's there going, the ball's on my son-in-law. Obviously, it was the bear that was talking.
Nothing like driving it home to him. Like, hey, the sand is running out your hourglass.
Give me a grand.
I know that you've picked up any screw on the floor that you didn't use, and you've every nail that you've ever hammered in. But
and he did.